Order, and we will begin as a subcommittee. And our first item, Mr. Holden. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's a pleasure to be here. Committee. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to present Assembly Bill 1835 today. I would like to start off by accepting the technical committee amendments to place our language in the proper code section. AB 1835 provides a narrow exemption to the broadly construed accreditation requirements of the Private Post-Secondary Education Act for postgraduate programs and psychoanalysts. These specialized programs are designed for working professionals already holding licenses in the behavioral sciences, and the programs only accept candidates who already have a master's or a PhD who desire to further their study of psychoanalysts. They are small nonprofit institutes that typically graduate less than 10 students a year. In fact, there are only 3,000 psychoanalysts nationwide. The national accrediting body for these programs, the Accreditation Council of Psychoanalytic Education, is not recognized by the Department of Education and therefore does not qualify as a proper accrediting body as existing law is being interpreted by the Bureau of Private Post-Secondary Education. AB 1835 ensures that psychoanalytic training programs can receive accreditation from the organization most qualified to evaluate these programs and still comply with the 2014 reforms of the Private Post-Secondary Education Act. In favor of this exemption, Congressman Ted Lieu, the author of the 2014 reform, has written a letter that explains that these psychoanalytic institutes were never intended to be affected by his legislation. The Bureau of Private Post-Secondary Education has essentially acknowledged psychoanalysts is a niche field and the only higher education program that cannot adequately be evaluated by an accrediting body like the Western Associations of Schools and Colleges. Therefore, AB 1835 crafts a narrow exemption for these institutions. I have with me Mr. Peter Ratstock, a former president of the Analytic Institute in the state and a faculty member, to discuss more about the field, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you. Thank you to the chair and the members for considering this legislation. I'm a former member of the Institute of Contemporary Psychoanalysis in Los Angeles. I'm a faculty member and a senior member. Psychoanalysis is a unique form of study, a unique field. California, it started in Vienna, as you probably know. It's kind of worked its way westwards. So now California is home to the leading edge of psychoanalytic training worldwide. Training institutes are not affiliated with universities, but are freestanding organizations. They're not for profit. They have small, tight budgets. My institute has a budget of about $400,000, most of which is spent on maintaining the institute. SB 1247, Congressman Liu's legislation, was obviously much-needed legislation designed to rein in undergraduate institutes that were not providing quality education to their students. Our training program trains only psychotherapists already licensed by state licensing agencies who are degreed professionals and who hold malpractice insurance. The requirement for our program to be accredited is, of course, in accordance with good public policy. The only agency that could accredit us, WASC, is designed to oversee and accredit universities such as UCLA, Loyola Marymount, and USC. WASC has no mechanism for dealing with our field of study or with small volunteer-run institutions. We are a volunteer organization. Everybody who teaches at ICP does so voluntarily. WASC deals more with large research institutions with dozens of faculty members in each department. The cost of WASC accreditation and to sustain it in the future would mean that we'd have to increase tuition far beyond what our students could afford, which at present is only $3,000 a year. By contrast, a doctorate from UCLA can cost upwards of $120,000. Our students don't get loans. Specifically, they do not get government loans to fund their education. ACPE, as mentioned, offers better and more experienced oversight of psychoanalysis and its training programs. It is better suited to the accreditation of psychoanalysis. ICP was formed in 1990, and since then our programs have unfailingly received approval from the BPPE, and every time the bar has been raised by the BPE, we have complied with the new standards. I believe you've seen Congressman Liu's letter articulating the purpose of SB 1247 and the explicit comment that that legislation was not intended to catch psychoanalytic institutes in its net. AB 1835 is specifically directed at psychoanalysis and no other area of study. In that regard, I ask for your vote on this legislation, and I also want to thank you for your time and the courtesy of your consultant and the staff that has been shown to me. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation, and we're going to pause for just a moment to take roll.
Medina,
Present.
Baker, Bloom, Chavez, Irwin, Jones Sawyer, Levine, Linder, Lowe, Olson, Santiago, Weber, Williams.
A quorum is present, so we are now in committee. And please continue. Do you have anyone else?
I think that's, in terms of our presentation.
Is there anyone else who wants to testify in favor of the bill? Anyone against? No? Any questions or comments from the dais? Any committee members? Do we have someone in opposition?
Just a super quick comment. We originally submitted a late letter. My name is Angela Perrier with Public Advocates, a civil rights law firm. We originally submitted comments late in opposition to this bill, but considering the committee amendments and the recognition that there is some need for accreditation, we're going to take those amendments into consideration and just wanted to put that out there and that we may change our position on said bill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other witnesses in opposition? Questions or comments from the committee?
Move the bill.
Second. Mr. Holden, would you like to close?
Well, I thank the committee for its consideration of the bill and the amendments. I think they make the bill stronger, and request for your aye vote.
First, motion by Dr. Weber, second by Mr. Jones Sawyer. Madam Secretary, if you'd call the roll.
Medina,
Aye.
Medina, aye. Baker, Baker, aye. Bloom, Bloom, aye. Chavez, Chavez, aye. Irwin, Jones Sawyer, Jones Sawyer, aye. Levine, Levine, aye. Linder, Linder, aye. Lowe, Olson, Olson, aye. Santiago, Weber, Weber, aye. Williams, Williams, aye.
10-0. Your motion passes. Your bill passes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll leave it open to any absent members. Next, we'll take up item number 2. And in the absence of Ms. Lopez, we're going to have staff present. I forgot to go through all my comments. Apologize.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. First, let me start by stating that Assemblywoman Lopez is accepting the committee amendments. With the amendments, AB 1781 requires the state superintendent of public instruction and the California Department of Education, in conjunction with other appropriate state agencies and stakeholders, to convene a task force in order to examine the current rules and regulations regarding the priority of children, specifically those attending a child development program under contract with the CDE, and give an opinion in writing to the appropriate committees of the legislature on or before January 31st, 2018, as to whether or not the existing priorities should be amended to include children of the California National Guard and other military personnel, as well as develop plans for child development programs for their children in the cases of state emergencies when the California National Guard and other military are called out on duty.
And it's Ms. Lopez, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Any witnesses in support?
Move the bill.
Any witnesses in opposition? Any questions from committee? I want to thank the author for working with the committee and accepting the amendments. The motion before us is due pass. We had a first by Mr. Lender, second by Mr. Levine. Madam Secretary, if you'd call the roll.
Medina.
Aye.
Medina, aye. Baker. Baker, aye. Bloom. Bloom, aye. Chavez. Chavez, aye. Irwin. Jones Sawyer. Jones Sawyer, aye. Levine. Levine, aye. Linder. Linder, aye. Lowe. Olson. Santiago. Weber. Weber, aye. Williams. Williams, aye.
9-0, your bill is out, and we'll keep it open for absent members.
Mr. Chairman, which bill?
So we will do
First.
the 2581.
Okay, that's file item 5. At your convenience, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Chair and committee members. I'd like to start by accepting the committee amendments, which are outlined in the analysis. Today, we have the opportunity to help thousands of California students that were harmed by the closure of Corinthian campuses with AB 2581. AB 2581 provides accessible relief through organizations to help students complete their loan forgiveness and tuition recovery process. 2581 would restore the years of Cal Grant eligibility for students impacted by the closure of Heald colleges, and it authorizes the state licensing boards to waive non-substantive licensing requirements for students who meet educational requirements. Our goal is to make these students financially and educationally whole. Students have been waiting for relief since the school's closure, which occurred last year, and they need our help now. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Move the bill. Second.
With me here this afternoon are two students who attended the schools that were closed and have firsthand experience in attending the school and attempting and being successful in getting relief. So I'm very thankful to have them here with me today, and we'd like to begin.
Thank you, and please be sure to state your name. Thank you.
Thank you. My name's Eric Martin. I'm a resident of Antioch. I attended WyoTech here in West Sacramento from 2012 to 2013. I received a diploma in collision and refinishing. I attended WyoTech because they had a fast-paced program, get you in, get you out, help you find a job. They said they would provide hands-on learning, the tools I need to be successful job placement after graduation. We never got none of that. When I first started, I started in October 2012. we took our first break for Christmas and the holidays. When we came back after the New Year on 2013, half the campus was shut down, half the instructors were gone, and students were shipped out to other places or totally dropped. They couldn't ship me anywhere because they wouldn't let me take my family. I have a wife and kids. So they kept it open for certain students. By the end, we didn't have any materials. They took all the tools, packed all the tools up to send them back to Laramie, Wyoming. So we were working on instructors' vehicles to get through the programs. During that time, I had a Genesis loan, which is a private loan through Wyotech. I was making payments on that loan from day one. That was to make sure I had the money for gas and transportation to get back and forth to school, since I was driving from Antioch every day. That stopped. They stopped that loan, gave me a federal loan, never received all the money for the Genesis loan. They could never tell me where the rest of it was. I finally got my federal loans, or word that they're going to be discharged. Now, without the help of HERA, Public Advocacies, I would have never even known how to even begin that or do anything about that. So I'm thankful for them. Now, my Genesis loans have been sold to a different company. They're trying to tell me I owe them $14,000 now. The original loan was for $12,000. Well, the whole year I was in school, I was paying $100 a month. And then when I graduated, that went up to $200 a month. They can't tell me where any of the money I paid is at. They can't tell me where the money I didn't receive is at. And now they're telling me I owe more than what I borrowed. So that's why I'm here, and I hope you guys help pass the bill so people like me and the other ones that don't know about any of the help that's out there can get it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next witness.
My name is Angel Matos. I'm a resident of Oakley, and I attended Heald College in Concord from November 2012 to April 2014. I graduated with an AS in medical assisting. I also have a bachelor's degree from Regis University in Colorado with a major in business and a minor in accounting. I initially went to Heald for an informational interview and told the recruiter that I met that I was interested in switching careers and wanted to go into a nursing program. The recruiter told me that to go into nursing, I needed a lower level medical training like Heald's medical assisting program. The recruiter said that the Heald campus in Concord was on track to open a nursing program soon, and that if I enrolled in the school's medical assisting program, I would be given the first chance to be accepted into the nursing program. The recruiter also told me that Heald would provide lifetime job placement services and that I would be given a dedicated recruiter to help me find a job. The recruiter explained that Heald worked really hard with the students to find placements.
I'm not sure I understand.
Sorry.
Yeah, I got it.
She understands. She gets it. She gets it.
The Heald recruiter made it sound like I was practically guaranteed a job and a position at their future nursing program after graduation. I was not intending on enrolling at Heald before I went, but the recruiter had signed me up as we were walking through the process, and before I knew that I was signed up, I was signed up. I was told that the total cost of the program would be around $17,000, and that most of it would be paid by Pell Grants and the federal subsidized and unsubsidized loans from financial aid. Once the recruiter had completed the registration process, they immediately walked me across the hall to the financial aid office to fill out all of my financial aid documents. 2 weeks into the program, the financial aid office would call students out of their class and tell them that their financial aid was not going to cover the full cost of the program, and give us two options. We either had to take a Genesis loan and make monthly payments, or we would have to pay a higher price monthly on our own. it was sometimes up to 3 times as high as the Genesis loans. And I was told that if I quit the program, even though I was only 2 weeks into an 18-month program, that I would still owe the full cost of the program because I had signed contract. So I felt forced to finish the program and took out a Genesis loan. My husband is the only income for our family, so there was no way that I could pay $400 or $500 a month to go to school, as well as provide childcare for my daughter. I ended up paying $150 a month for my Genesis loan while in school, and there was a lot of pressure to pay your loan. If you were even 1 day late, they would lock your access to the computers. They would call you out of class. They would not allow you to attend class if you had not paid your payment when it was the day that it was due. I wanted to believe that the education that I received from HEALD has prepared me to get a job in the field, but 2 years after graduating, I still cannot find a job. During my externship, I also started taking nursing prerequisites at a community college, and I've since realized that the medical assisting courses that I took at HEALD, that I was told and continuously reassured would help me get into the nursing field, have been no help. The community colleges informed me that the nursing programs typically only accept 15 to 20% of their applicants, and that was not what HEALD had said when I went for their program. In the following year, after my graduation and before HEALD closed, I worked with 3 different job placement coaches, and they would occasionally call me with prospective placements and said that they were submitting my resume. I received 2 job interviews out of that process. The first offered a job at $11 an hour, but it was over an hour commute away from my home and part-time. I wasn't selected for that job. So, and the second job interview was with a senior care agency to do secretarial work, which was completely unrelated to my medical assisting degree. I'm still continuing to try to find a job on my own. I submit 15 to 20 job applications per month, and all I get is rejection letters or no response. Since I can't find employment, I'm not able to pay my student loans that I took on through the Genesis loan. I was fortunate enough to be a part of a HEALD Facebook group that I believe one of our previous instructors had started. And that's where I learned that students could get their loans forgiven by submitting a defense to repayment application. I submitted the application, and I did receive news that my federal loans have been discharged, but I'm still getting harassing debt collection letters from University Accounting Services saying that I still owe them money. It's close to $600 a month is the payment that they're asking for. I had thought that the application that I submitted to have my student loans discharged covered all of my HEALD loans. But I found a workshop that was in Bay Point that was giving free legal advice for HEALD students, and I attended the workshop that had lawyers from different legal aid offices, and met with a legal aid attorney who walked me through the difference between my federal loans and private loans, and explained the application that I submitted only applied to my federal loans and not my private loans. The attorney also helped me access information for my private loans with University Accounting Services, and explained that I have 2 different types of Genesis loans. One is owned by Balboa Trust, which was part of the settlement with the CFPB, and they're not allowed to sue me to collect the debt, but they can, and they have started reporting with credit bureau agencies, so my credit is now being negatively affected. The other Genesis loan was owned by Campus Student Funding, and they're not covered by the CFPB settlement. And so Campus Student Funding has since started sending me letters saying that they are considering taking legal action against me. It's important for me to receive help from legal aid so that I can understand what's going on with all of my different loans. And it was important for me to know that I had defenses against the Genesis loans that I was forced to sign because my signature was obtained through lies and deceit. It's complicated having to to navigate between rights for federal loans and those for private loans, and if there are any special settlements or other judgments that might affect my rights. For these reasons, I would like to voice my support for APB 2581 and to support funding for legal aid services so that others like me can continue to get comprehensive help understanding their rights.
Thank you. Next witness.
My name's Angela Perry. I'm here with Public Advocates. I work with a group of legal aid providers and consumer and student advocates, and we've been trying to coordinate help efforts for students like Eric and Angel for the last year or so. And unfortunately, even though there have been introductory efforts, really important efforts on the part of both the Department of Education and the Bureau of Private Post-Secondary Education, unfortunately, students are not being reached. Students don't know that they have access to these relief options. And even the students that do, even students like Angel, who took it upon themselves to try to initiate an investigation into how they can exercise their rights, are still flummoxed, still need legal aid. I'm here to answer any questions that there may be about access to that aid, but the truth is that the Department of Education has reached, even by best estimates, only 40% of those students, and 16% of the students reached have actually applied. So there's no evidence that these students don't need relief, no evidence that students couldn't benefit from relief. But unfortunately, it seems as though they don't know it's there and they don't know how to access it.
Great, thank you. Additional witnesses in support? If you can come to the microphone and maybe just state who you're with and your position briefly. Thank you.
Jill Rice with CFT in support.
Thank you. Any additional witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? Turn over to colleagues in the committee. Any questions or comments? I do have one, Mr. Chair, and I was pleased to support this legislation, or very substantially similar legislation last time. I had done that, as many of our colleagues did, and of course it was vetoed by the governor. There is one provision that I believe we still need to work on, and that is the provision with respect to legal aid societies and attorneys going to them, funds going to them that can potentially otherwise be going into notifying and doing loan forgiveness for the students directly. I really appreciate your taking the time to be here and share with us in a very specific way the experience you had. My sense is that it was through learning about the support that you could get. That was the key issue you needed. You needed to know that there was a program out there that could help you get through this process. And providing funds to the legal aid societies doesn't accomplish that. I'd almost rather see the funds, again, go into loan forgiveness and tuition assistance and not to lawyers. And this is coming from a lawyer. So I was struggling with this today, and I was even considering voting no. I'm going to stay off just in hopes that we can fix that provision. I hope you're open to working on that, because that may make it more likely, I don't know, that the governor will sign it, but I think it would make it a better bill. And welcome your thoughts on that as well.
Well, thank you for the question. So let me address it in closing. April 26th of this year will be 1 year that Corinthian closed its doors on students. 1 year since we pretty much brought this legislation, similar legislation, forward. In that time, Ms. Baker, to address your question, I've had the opportunity to meet students in my own district, speak with them, hear from them, hear their experiences. And like Erica and Angel here, students in my districts, and they're spread throughout the state of California, and I have figures here, close to 15,000 students, many of them spread out throughout all your districts, have been affected. And so as I have spoken to the students in my own district, I've heard how difficult it has been for them to try to navigate the maze of information, the maze of what the process is. I had a young Harvard law attorney who in Los Angeles is working with the many students who have reached out to her. And she shared with us, she shared in my office with students there, that it's difficult for her colleagues, difficult for attorneys to go through the difficult process that these students have done themselves. So with that in mind, I think that I would respond to saying that it seems like all the evidence that I have seen is that we do need that legal aid. I think myself and our office have been in contact with the governor, and we are working together to make sure that we give him something that he would be willing to sign. And I have much hope that we will get this signed this year. I think we're way overdue. So with that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. I believe this is a due pass as amended. And please call the roll.
Medina.
Aye.
Medina, aye. Baker.
Not voting.
Baker, not voting. Bloom. Aye. Bloom, aye. Chavez. Aye. Chavez, aye. Irwin. Jones Sawyer. Aye. Jones Sawyer, aye. Levine. Aye. Levine, aye. Linder. Lowe. Olson. Olson, not voting. Santiago. Aye. Santiago, aye. Weber. Aye. Weber, aye. Williams. Aye. Williams, aye.
8-0, it's out. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
And I'm not playing favorites, but I have to go to another committee, so I've handed it over to Mr. Chavez.
Thank you, Ms. Baker.